So there's some leaked rumors going around showing that Infinity Ward is behind creating Modern Warfare 4. And if that is the case, I believe that based off of what I've read as far as rumors go and some of my own knowledge, that this Call of Duty game that'll come out next year might save the franchise or at least create a Call of Duty game that's going to be worth buying, which I'll explain why I feel that way in this video. But first, let's get to the credibility of these rumors. So how did these rumors start? Well, these rumors started by a voice actor who was in Modern Warfare, I believe the first and second one, if I'm not mistaken. Craig Fabris, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, accidentally uploaded on Twitter that he was working on Modern Warfare, or has worked on Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then immediately the fan base went nuts and said, oh my gosh, Modern Warfare 4 is confirmed. He later on said that there's confusion and that he later worked on Modern Warfare Remastered, thus being the fourth Call of Duty title that he worked on, and then he said that it was just all a big, just confusion, that it's not true, yada yada yada. Voice actors for video games have often accidentally leaked information about their upcoming game all the time, especially on their social media, even during interviews, or they'll say stuff that rather shouldn't have been said, or they said it prematurely and receive some backlash from the game studio and often has to retract their statement or act as if it's not necessarily not true, not that they're denying it, but being neutral on the matter. And of course, this is just save their butts and save the game. However, history repeats himself, and I'm pretty confident that Modern Warfare 4 is underway for a list of reasons, and I'll explain. Putting aside the leaked information, if you take a look at the franchise among all three game studios, if you look at the direction that they've been going within the last couple of titles and where they've been just recently, you can see that we have the two most recent Call of Duty games have all been boots on the ground, and the second title being Black Ops 4. Now, we all can have our controversies and complaints about World War II and Black Ops 4, but the point being is they are definitely moving away from this jetpack style of flying sugar glider type Call of Duty game where you're just running around, hopping on walls and jetpacking. So we're definitely going to be staying on the ground. So where exactly is Infinity Ward going to take this? So would they want to go into the future but just keep boots on the ground? I don't think they would, because a lot of people are also expressing their rather how distant they are from wanting to have futuristic weapons, and Infinity Ward is definitely notorious for their Modern Warfare series. Given the amount of negative feedback when it comes to futuristic shooters in the Call of Duty franchise, I can't imagine why they would create another Call of Duty game that takes place in any sort of time in the future. Or rather, if they're just jetpacking around, it just doesn't make sense. It just feels like a stupid business move. According to other tweets and interviews that have come out of the Infinity Ward studio, shows that the game developers have lots of quote-unquote firepower and overall hype and talent in the studio, and it sounds like that they're really overhauling Call of Duty to make a good game. They also mentioned they've discussed a battle royale feature, whether that's going to be implemented or not. They haven't actually said they were, but they are going to be making a full-fledged Call of Duty game, including a campaign, and I think they even mentioned zombies in this interview as well, which is interesting because Infinity Ward zombies hasn't really been their best pillar when it comes to Call of Duty, but oh well, I mean, you can't complain with more content. Now, given the leaked information and also knowing what Infinity Ward is known best for, being their Modern Warfare series, it would only make sense that they would take all this information and feedback about what we want as in a Call of Duty game and create a Modern Warfare 4. Now, whether if it's actually called quote-unquote Modern Warfare, or if it's just going to be called Call of Duty, X, and that it just take place in Modern Warfare with boots on the ground, maybe that's the case, but if you take a look at Treyarch with their Black Ops 4, they specifically called it Black Ops 4 for a marketing stunt because people are familiar with the Black Ops franchise and they think that people would actually make more money off of it. So I could only imagine they would do that with Modern Warfare. Now, let's just assume that all this is true and Modern Warfare 4 is going to happen. Now I want to explain why I feel this would save the franchise. And of course, like I just explained, I'll do it again. This is all speculation. It may not be Modern Warfare 4. I could be totally wrong. It could be something completely different. It could be something that we absolutely hate. But for the sake of the argument, the sake of this video, let's just assume it is Modern Warfare 4, and now I'm going to explain why I think this is going to save the franchise, or at least give us a game that we actually want to play. Now, it should be obvious what the community wants in a Call of Duty game. We want no jetpacks, no sugar glider, lemur jumping, fucking whatever you want to call it. We all want boots on the ground Call of Duty, which I believe World War II and Black Ops 4 is a step in the right direction in the sense of keeping it on the ground. Now, what I think that we've been missing in the last two Call of Duty games, including Black Ops 4, which isn't necessarily out yet, but it is new and upcoming and will be out this year, is we have lacked weaponry from literally Modern Warfare. We haven't been able to really feel identified with the type of weapons and technology that we're using, and it kind of keeps us a distance from the overall feel and us trying to be immersed in it. It's hard to be immersed in something that you haven't been around or experienced yet, and this could easily take place in Call of Duty, World War II, and Black Ops 4, being that they both take place in time periods that aren't really in our generation, and they both evolve around weapons that we don't normally see in battle today, and this is hard for us to be immersed in it. So if Infinity Ward really does take it back to a modern warfare game, where, you know, hence Modern Warfare, where we're going to be getting weapons that we see used in militaries today, I think we're really going to go back into that immersion of a Call of Duty game that we've all been missing for so long. The formula to make a fun Call of Duty game really isn't complex compared to other shooter games like, for instance, Battlefield or maybe even Halo. All you really need to do is just get some core features right as far as gunplay, movement, and some of the smaller stuff like kill streaks, and I really don't think it's going to be difficult to make this game fun at all. And I think they're bringing back those core values in Modern Warfare 4 with being boots on the ground and modern weaponry. And I think if they can just implement that formula correctly with having a balanced weapon sets and not having kill streaks being annoying, and get rid of the stupid specialists, which I don't think Infinity Ward has really done. Well, they kind of did in Ghost, but it was very different. And I think if they can manage to just do that, like I said, it's just not complicated to make a good Call of Duty game. And I think they were tired of repeating the same formula with Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3, and then Black Ops came out somewhere in between all that, I believe. And although it was a different time period, it was still somewhat the same formula. I think they wanted just to go somewhere else with the franchise, which is why they came out with Advanced Warfare. Ghost was definitely different from the Modern Warfare series, but essentially it was the same thing as far as gunplay goes. And then we have games like Black Ops 2, which again was sort of the same thing, but kind of towards the future, but the overall formula was the same. And then we had Advanced Warfare. I think I just said that, but anyways, Advanced Warfare. And then Black Ops 3, that's where they started implementing. Well, it was Advanced Warfare, they started doing jetpacks and exosuits, but Black Ops 3 carried it. And then Infinity Ward. So we had these three titles with these jetpacks, and I think they've had their go, and I think the franchise has understood that maybe we liked it at first, maybe we didn't, but it's worn out and we're over it. And the last two titles are going to be boots on, or were boots on the ground, including Black Ops 4. So I just feel that Modern Warfare, or Infinity Ward rather, just understands that if they want to save their reputation in the franchise, it really does need to be a Modern Warfare game, and I think they understand that just based off of the leaks that we've seen on the internet. So this really is a dumbed down, simple video. I'm not bringing a lot of details or specifics into it, only because I really don't think I have to dive that deep to really understand what's going on here, given what we already know. And again, I could be totally wrong here, but if I had $100 to bet, I would bet we are getting a Modern Warfare 4. It will absolutely be boots on the ground, and it will absolutely be modern weaponry, hence the title Modern Warfare. So, with all that being said, I think we should buckle up and just give a call. I understand entirely that people are so skeptical about Black Ops 4. A lot of people are all over the spectrum with they are so-so on it. They like it or they hate it, and that's totally understandable. But I think we should at least buckle up for one more year and give Infinity Ward a chance. I think we've given every studio a chance with their last games, because no one really liked Advanced Warfare, at least as far as what I've read, and no one really liked. Well, a lot of people liked Black Ops 3, but they didn't like the whole jetpacking and whatnot. And everyone hated Infinite Warfare, as far as what I've read. So I think it's fair to give a studio one more chance on a game. I think Sledgehammer did a good job with World War II, at least in comparison to their first game, which is Advanced Warfare. I think if you were to just compare those two games, I think Sledgehammer did a step in the right direction with World War II. As far as Black Ops 4 goes, I think we just have to wait for the game to come out before we actually say yay or nay with this game. But hopefully they did take a step in the right direction. But like I said, we'll see. And I think it's fair to give Infinity Ward a chance to take a step in the right direction, and then see where they go from there as far as the franchise goes. But I can say this, though, if my predictions are correct and we're getting a Modern Warfare 4, I think it's going to be really great. So that's all I really want to talk about. This video is so simple. I'm not bringing any new or unique information, but I'm just letting all you guys know that I think it is definitely going to be Modern Warfare 4, and I think it's going to be a great game. I am confident that the studio can give us something great. I think they're not. I think these studios aren't really good at experimenting the formula with Call of Duty. That's why everyone is so upset with the last handful of Call of Duty games. But it seems as if Infinity Ward is going back to where they were excelling with the franchise, with the Modern Warfare series. And if they can just go back to the roots, can't imagine why they couldn't make a great game given the technology that we have today. So, anyways, that's it. And subscribe for the next one, guys.